my Sagittarian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your soulmate reading for November 2019. I am your reader for the moment, Ed McMahon. Most of you have no idea who Ed McMahon is. Angelo, Lyons, president of Drawing the Circle Productions. Professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very honored and happy to be reading for you today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please do like and subscribe, and to my subscribers, thank you so very much for subscribing. I'm making my way slowly but surely to 1,000 subscribers, and once I hit 1,000 plus, once a month, just as a thank you, I am going to do a drunk tarot, which is I never drink when I read professionally. I'm actually doing a birthday party tomorrow. 4 hours. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be like, it's all women. So do you want a glass of wine? I'm not, unless you want my edit function shut off. So that's the only thing. It doesn't change my clarity really all that much as it drops the inhibitions, and truth flies out of my mouth. That's not always so diplomatic, but often funny. I'm not a mean drunk, like, at all. So everybody will know going in, right? If you're not into it, just don't watch it. But it's fine, and it's funny, and it doesn't happen all that terribly often. So, oh, and if anybody wants to pop in a timestamp when the actual reading starts, have at it, right? Because I have to do this for the new people, so y'all can just jump ahead because you know all this already. This is a general reading, right? It's not for everybody. It's not supposed to fit for everybody. Massages, which is why I always do Sun, Moon, Rising signs when I do a zodiacal read as a foundation, and then I'll add additional planets depending on topic, like soulmates are definitely Venus. So welcome Venus in Sagittarius signs as well. So yeah, you'll know if it's your read. This read, you should know it's your read within the first, 5-10 minutes. Well, actually, into the read. I got to do this exposition first. Because this next piece, we're going to be doing Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. The thing about Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine is we're both, right? Like, we are the children of the god and the goddess, if you want to look at it that way, and therefore we inherit the divine DNA, the DNA of both, right? Like, just like our physical DNA. So the thing is most of us that are kind of on speaking this language identify with themselves more as one or the other. I totally identify more as a divine feminine. Lifelong, right? You know, it's just like, let's say 51% divine feminine is... Come on, it's more than that, but you know what I mean? But that could be just like a little tilt that way. I guess it would left side for me that way. But it's not about bodily gender, right? And depending on who you're with, like in one relationship, you could be predominant divine masculine, and another be predominant divine feminine. Just how it rolls. So then let's get down to the definition of soulmates here, because what I'm serving up is probably not your usual. I watched this video a year or so ago, maybe longer, by Matt Kahn, M-A-T-T-K-A-H-N. The link to the video is in the description box below, along with a lot of other cool stuff from me down there. I made a video clarifying twin flames, soulmates, and true lover contracts as well, but it was so totally inspired by Matt Kahn's video, Soul Contracts, Twin Flames, and Soulmates Redefined. Genius. And let's just talk about the soulmates. I'm not ready for the twin flames. Let's talk about soulmates. Those are what we're doing. Soulmates are pre-incarnational contracts, right? Agreements that you make with other souls prior to descent into these bodies, prior to these lifetimes, to help each other heal, right? That's the dominant soulmate clause, if you will. It's like the whole thing is about these two souls will come together to help each other heal in a satisfying, soothing, symbiotic, you know what I mean? Like, sympathetic, right? Not that there won't be bumps in the road, but the bumps in the road, the wrinkles tend to iron themselves out, right? Because you're helping each other heal. It doesn't mean you always get along or see eye to eye. But that contract can take any form, right? So not just lovers, romance, you know, sex, all of that, but absolutely can be family members, you know, one-on-one, really anything, best friends, and it's, again, reason, season, lifetime, like anything else, depends on how the contract is drawn up before you come in. But sometimes soulmates part ways, like somebody moves away. Oh, like my friend Missy. My friend Missy, I haven't seen her in a very, very long time. She's in the Midwest now. She's originally from Maryland, right? We knew each other, but, you know, we stay in touch on Facebook. And she knows she can always reach out to me if she needs me. We all have people like that. It's like you pick up right where you left off, right? And of course it's past life. Do you think it's a past life connection? Oh, honey, we've been on this rock for so long. Of course it's a past life connection. Everybody's a past life connection at this point, particularly if you were such a slut like I was throughout my lifetimes. You get it, Sag, don't you? So these satisfying soulmate reads, right? We're going to look at those in this way in terms of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, just so that we can identify two different beings, if you will, in the contract itself, right? So go have a look at the description box at some point. And please remember to breathe. That's like so important for me, because you're going to breathe anyway. Unconsciously, but when you do it consciously, you're breathing in chi and prana and life force, whatever you want to call it, grace, light, you know, we are the breath. So you're bringing in everything you need on the inhale and then exhaling. Here, watch this. Then you release all that's ready to release in that moment, but not all at once, not all, right? That's like a nervous breakdown. So to just be aware of your breath. My guides have been telling me to do that consistently throughout these readings since I started the Samhain reads, which were, oh, fucking hoot. Those were wild and dark and what a trigger warning, right? The soulmate readings are trigger warnings. Thank God I don't have to do those again for another year. Those were intense. A lot of people liked them. But you'll hear me say every now and again, breathe, right? So breathe along with me, because when you breathe consciously, it brings you right into the present moment. You know, notice when you're holding your breath, it's usually because you're, right? Sort of like that. So I think that's it. Don't just stand there. Let's get to it. Deal the cards. There's nothing to it. Now, do. Breathe. There you are, my pantheons, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity, a Caroline Myss archetype cards. All the cards I work with are in the description box. They note that. You might not. One card from the Caroline Myss archetype deck to symbolize the archetypal pattern, the dominant soul power being alchemized from lead to gold in this Sagittarian collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign soulmate contract for November 2019. One for the divine feminine, please. Oh, we've got the healer. We've got the healer. La 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 la. We've got the healer. Good. Good start, divine feminine. Now, if you're a healer, consider yourself a divine feminine healer. There you are. But hang in there. Let's see what the divine masculine is, because you never know. Because again, you could be like a healer archetype to one person in your life and totally another one to somebody else. Let's get one for the divine masculine. Breathe. Also slows me down so I'm not like rapid fire mouth, because the energy gets high and I am very throat chakra defined. Yet I have no gag reflex. My pantheons of angels, gods, goddesses. You caught that? Masters and the higher selves of all involved. Well, it's Sagittarian. They're fun, right? Please, one card in clarity for the divine masculine in the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract for November 2019. What is his dominant soul power being alchemized from lead to gold in this relationship? Oh, the healer and the addict. Oh, honey, that is such an old story. I know. I've been there. I've done it. I had a boyfriend for years who was shooting heroin between his toes. And I didn't find out until way after we were broken up. It fucking sucks. But we'll get to that. Now, I felt a lot of people just click off. For those of you that are still here, look, everybody has their addictions. right? They're attachments. They're ways that we medicate our own pain in one way or another. And, I know people who are addicted to being right. That when they're proven wrong, they go through withdrawal, right? They can't eat, they can't sleep, they're in so much pain because they have to be right. Narcissists, usually in one way, shape, or form. So let's get into this. This is, I'm trying to be light and jovial. That's one thing about Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mel for short, is I can deliver this sort of information with humor when appropriate, sometimes a little crossing that line, but with compassion, right? So if not with humor, then with real compassion and understanding and empathy, right? I have empathy for everybody. So let's read this healer archetype, and then we will clarify with 5 cards from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. The healer archetype. They're reminding me, it's like this has been a theme in the Soulmates this time around. Almost all of the divine feminines are like it's supposed to be symbiotic, right? It's supposed to be where you both help each other heal, but it feels like the divine masculines are like in a lot of trouble. I don't know why that is. Well, watch the news. Maybe we know why that is. Breathe. The shadow attribute. Every archetype is shadow and light. They're neutral archetypes. All archetypes are neutral. I like to call it the lead and the gold because I prefer the language of alchemy. Shadow attribute. Taking advantage of those who need help. Failing to care for oneself. Okay, well, failing to care for oneself for the healer, that is a pitfall every healer does and deals with sooner or later, hopefully sooner rather than later, because then it turns into martyrdom. And then you're what's called the unhealed healer. And that is the shadow side, the unhealed healer. Not that you need to be completely, totally healed. Who's that? Those are the ascended masters, the gods, the angels, right? That's who we really, truly are, the higher self, right? All that done, that's outside of time and space. It's only in time and space that we need to heal at all. Why? Because a wound needs healing. That's the opposite, right? We're in unity consciousness, 5th dimensional, it's all just oneness, right? But not, big spirit amoeba either. Divine pseudopods in every direction. Yes, I used to be a dancer. Never danced on a pole, though, or took my clothes off. Well, in a performance. Never stripped for money. The light attribute. Passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. So by now, if you are the divine feminine, you know if this is you, because, it doesn't have to be lifelong. It can just be in certain situations. I have the healer archetype dominant. It's called the Chronos wheel. Read Carolyn Mace's, who produced the cards, Sacred Contracts. I have the healer archetype Chronos, lifelong. But I am I am a hands-on healer, Reiki, Shmeiki, Eggs and Bakey, all of that. I'm really good at it, but really more spiritual counseling is my thing. I'm very throat chakra, and the ears are connected to the throat chakra, right? Hello, hello. It's not the same image. So keep this in mind. This is going to be your dominant energy. And let's clarify that. Oh, let's read the Addict. Let's get so that what the fuck am I healing? And meanwhile, if you're the divine masculine, what do you mean? If you haven't clicked off already, that's just wonderful. Look, I'm a coffee addict. No shit. If you took me off coffee, I would probably have a migraine that would split my head like Athena from Zeus's crown, right? Good thing Hephaestus had that axe. Let's look at the shadow attribute. I think we know this one. And really, if you can take it out of drugs and alcohol, like if it is a drug and alcohol thing for the divine masculine in this situation, then you know that. But really listen to the words of it. Compromises integrity and honesty. Allows addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit, right? So instead of having faith, where your spirit is saying, don't do this, you know this is harmful, you know this isn't for you, and you do it anyway, right? That what is your inner spirit? It's your higher self, it's your truth, it's your innocence, right? So compromising your innocence there allows addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit, your innocence, your true heart, right? Your soul. Because your soul is saying, we're better than this. Everybody is. But remember, everybody has an addiction. the light attribute, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Excuse me, that's why so many people who have been through some process of recovery often work in the field then, right? It's like they're like, I'm not all the way home, but I can fucking help, right? Like sponsors in AA and 12-step. Now let's keep in mind, if you take it out of the physical addictions, like we know what the physical addictions are, right? Money, right? You'd be addicted to money, sex, food, drugs, alcohol. But what about codependence, right? Romantic addiction, right? To the high. There are brain chemicals manufactured when you fall in love with somebody. There's endorphin and dopamine, and Lord knows what else is going on up there in the hypothalamus when you fall in love with somebody. Where then when that's over, you go through withdrawal, and it's very, very painful. So, you know, it could be what do they call that? A serial monogamist. When I first heard that, I was like, you mean like Captain Crunch? It's a serial monogamist. I'm going to try and yuck it up, but that's my guides. And you know what? The god that sits in the throne of Sagittarius for me is Zeus. Jove. Jovial. So I am the spoon full of helium to make the medicine go down. Let's start clarifying. We're going to do the element spread: fire, earth, air, water, spirit. Fire for the element of desire, what the divine masculine or divine feminine wants. Earth, like the wax and the wick of the candle, the fuel, what they have to help them get their desire. Air, what they're thinking. Water, what they're feeling. And spirit, the overview, or the point of view of the higher self, the soul, the spirit, the gods. Got it? So we're going to use Daughters of the Moon for the divine feminine. We're going to use the Mythic Tarot, Juliet Sherman Burke's. I love this deck. I love both of these decks. We'll use the Mythic Tarot for the divine masculine. See, I'm speeding up. Breathe. And I prop myself up with lots of pillows so that I can even almost like sit back, because otherwise I'm like Bambi in the woods. Sounds like porn. Breathe. Oh my goddesses, please. Element spread, top 5 cards for this divine feminine. Sun, moon, rising Venus sign in this Sagittarian soulmate relationship, this soulmate contract, this healer archetype for November 2019. Please, top 5 cards, element spread. What's going on with the divine feminine here? This feels, I won't say weird, well, a little uncomfortable. More than a little uncomfortable. So please, okay, top 5 cards. Clean cut, please. Nope, unclean cut, okay? Maiden, mother, crone. So the one that was on the bottom wanted to be on the top. I'm gonna let you run with that. I got work to do. Okay, so for this divine feminine healer archetype, what's she want? Now remember, we're not talking about bodily gender here. What's she want? Element of fire. Well, the Cancerian card. So what she wants is the mother of the zodiac, to be most likely the mother of the zodiac, to be the nurturing, healing, yet emotionally shifty, changey being that is all Cancerian energies. Now look, my mother is a Cancerian. I call her Hera. So imagine Hera of the ocean, Hera of the sea. We're not going to say chicken of the sea. I just said chicken of the sea. I love my mom. Can't wait to see her. So that really, really wants, but this also, I could feel it's about the home. It's about being at home in your own skin, at home in your own emotions. Feels really lovely, wants that. And yes, the card is Cancer. I don't do that, you know, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces every time, you know, a water card comes up, because it says right on the card Pisces. Thank you so much, Fiona Morgan. I really, really love that. Namu, and there are like dolphins and whales and all of this. So something obviously aquatic, but very emotional here. So wants some kind of depth, some sort of deeper dive into the emotions, but it's creative water, that there's purpose behind it. And I can already go that this could already be mother-child, right? Totally could be there to be a good mother, be a supportive mother, a loving mother, but also an emotional and sensitive one, which is not the easiest thing on planet Earth. Hippolyta. All right. What does she have? What is the wax and wick that feeds that flame? Oh, fuck. Kali, the Awakener, the Destroyer, the Tower card. She's got the truth. She has the truth. Lightning. Now, Sagittarians, you're very lightning. So if you are the Sagittarian in this, my divine feminines, then you've got the truth, and you have what it takes to lower the boom. So though you might want to be like, let me be sweet and soft and sensitive and just shock the fucking crap, wake them up out of it, right? Hit them with a bolt of truth. But again, to be more empathic about it, to be more caring, more warm, than just kind of lowering the boom. And it feels like okay, and for some of the divine feminines here, it's like you've already been hit by the tower because of this person. The lightning has already done some destruction, some devastation. Really quick, too, lightning strike, towers, bam, and then the rest is nothing left but the crying and the cleanup, right? But it's not always a bad thing. Let's clarify that without a card. Enlightenment. Right, I've used this as an example. I've taught tarot for decades, right? I'm just not teaching it right now, and I was supposed to make a video series of it, but I'm not into it. A lot of fun, though. It's a lot of work. The workshop, let alone what I would have to do to produce that. This here, what I use as an example, someone who doesn't believe in ghosts, right? Oh, there's no such thing as ghosts. And then one day they see one. And it's like, everyone give you the bigger. Right? All of their beliefs, right? Just shattered all in one moment. And what's the rest of their life is like, what the fuck was that, right? It's all nothing left but the crying and the cleanup. But that is like an instant transformation struck by lightning. And you know, in the Rider-Waite Tarot, those little droplets of light, they are the Yod, the Y-O-D, Hebrew letter meaning the finger of God. So it is divine intervention. The gods don't mess when they mess. And that's why it's not Kali the Destroyer as she's usually depicted. I mean, it is. Destroyer of illusions. But the Awakener, right? To wake us up. Wake up, Pearl! Do I have Drag Race in my DNA? I guess I do at this point. Mutations. Fifth dimensional consciousness. Is there something on my face? What is she thinking? Ah, shit. I call this one the Tower card of the Minor Arcana. It is the Five of Pentacles, Earthquake. So she's thinking about it. I don't know that she's delivered the boom yet. But she's thinking about it. And that's the thing. How long does an earthquake last? People are like 30 seconds. I'm like, a 30-second earthquake is a big fucking deal, right? You get a tremor, excuse me, but most of them relatively quick, like 10 seconds. Everything's shaking depending on where it is on the Richter scale. That 10 seconds changes everything. So I know it's being left out in the cold, and maybe she's contemplating leaving this one left out in the cold, but remember, this is a soulmate contract. On a soul level, regardless of what the personality is going through, the soul is, both souls are guiding this along. Why? So you can both learn, both help each other learn, heal, grow, and evolve for the well-being of all. What's she feeling? Element of water, the Pan card. The God Pan, which is the Emperor, or the Hierophant in this deck. So she's definitely feeling him. Her feelings are on or about him, and because she's a healer and a divine feminine, and her mind's all shook, she might be empathing him big time, like feeling it, like regardless of distance between them, might be really feeling it. Now, I will just say this, having been through the situation myself, having a heroin addict as a boyfriend and not knowing it. I mean, he shot that shit up in my house. I don't know. Like, how empathic was I, right? But it was just wondering why he kept falling asleep on the couch, right? It wasn't until way after I found that. I know what it's like once you know, right? To feel that shit. Maybe you don't know. in this one, but remember, addicts are sneaky. They're so deceptive, they deceive themselves, and they really believe it. And, you know, that doesn't mean they're bad, that means they're in pain. That means that there's pain deep inside of them that there's just no way they can handle on their own. But here's the tea. We're not supposed to handle any of this on our own anymore. That divine masculine thing of I'll pull myself up by my bootstraps and do it all for myself. You know that we're all in this together, right? And whether this divine feminine is healing just in her own nature, you can have the healer archetype and not even consider yourself a healer, right? Never put out a shingle, right? Never take a class. Don't even know what a chakra is, right? But you know, regardless of the form here, that it's the soul, regardless of the form of the relationship, the soul have brought these two together to absolutely make the healer a better healer and to hopefully heal the addict. But remember, the healer cannot heal the addict. They have to, no addicts heal on their own. Isn't that funny that it's all about dependency? They do need the help, and yet there are certain steps, 12 maybe, that only they can take. And by the way, there are other programs than the 12-step program. I know people who have succeeded and failed in many different types, because we're all different, you know. It is what it is. Thankfully, my addictions have been dissolving gradually the more I raise myself in vibration. I know it's so new agey Abraham Hicks, but it's sort of true, because I go to the gods, right? I cry my eyes out to them at least once a day. I'm a Pisces moon, Virgo sun, Leo rising, Mars conjunct. Do the math. The spirit card, 10 of Cups, ecstasy. The overview here, ecstasy, emotional fulfillment, like cups flowing over. So once again, we've got a divine feminine who's doing like really well, considering we've got Kali. And to me, it's minor, the Tower, and to me, its counterpart, the Five of Pentacles. Really, like, this is what you incarnated to do. Not just with this person, not just with the divine masculine in this relationship. But, oh my God, from Spirit's point of view, 10 of Cups, that this is a real sense of emotional fulfillment to fulfill this. And it might very much be that you very much love this person. Right? It's like you have to be careful not to be an enabler. Oh, well, wouldn't that be taking advantage of those who need help, right? Enabling is part of that, because it's that codependent thing of, well, here, let me, here, no, it's fine, so that they don't leave. Because then who would you be without them? Traditional, right? You know, Codependent, the original book, Codependent No More, Melody Beatty, like, it's a big book. It's a lot to read, no question. But now it seems like that word is applied in other places and in other ways. But to me, a codependent relationship, which, you know, if you don't have the wounds of abuse, which some do, some don't. If you have the wounds of neglect, some do, some don't. Then chances are you have the wounds of codependence, which is essentially compromising your own boundaries in a relationship in an unhealthy way. That's like the most watered down version. But originally, codependence was really about drug and alcohol addiction, right? The dependency, it's like, all right, I'll get you your drugs, just don't leave, right? That there's a toxic bargaining and exchange that goes on. And sometimes I really do feel the only way these things can be healed is through the divine. Not that all the psychological stuff is, look, anybody who says, let me remove this addiction for you by laying hands on you, just be like, I gotta go, yeah. That this is an ongoing process. Nobody has an addiction overnight. Nobody heals an addiction overnight. I'm sure people have had experiences of breakthroughs and things like that. But as a healer myself, I get it, right? Because it takes two, right? It just does. Everybody needs help. We're all in this together. Well, let's look at the addict, shall we? Let me just remind you a little of what we're dealing with here. Shadow attribute. Compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. It's like a demon, right? It is like a demon. It's like your inner spirit is being overridden by this toxic entity, so to speak, speaking symbolic, mostly. Helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior within yourself and others in the light. So here we go. Let's do this. Breathe. Wow, the voltage on this is high, my Sages. It's like a lightning going through me. Not painful, but like jolty. Breathe with me. Here we go. My gods, please, top 5 cards, element spread for the Divine Masculine. In this Sagittarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising Venus sign soulmate contract for November-ish 2019. Please, top 5 cards, element spread for the Divine Masculine Addict in this soulmate contract. Father, Son, Sage. Let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. You ready? What does he want? Ace of Cups. All right, he wants another sip. He wants another go. He wants more love. He wants more love. So, you know, well, okay. All right. They're saying, well, you know, this could be somebody who's a recovered addict. This could be somebody who's really gone through it, right? And is in this place now of like, please. Like, so yeah, I mean, the original place my mind jumped to is love addict. Now, divine love addict, you find that within yourself through your own connection with the divine. Look, I'm a mystic every day of my fucking life. I'm having mystical experiences, downloads, all that stuff. That's why I live alone with my cats. Oh, yes, I can have gentleman callers here and there. And there, and there, and upstairs. But that's my life. That is everything to me. I'm a mystic to my core. That's my Pisces moon, baby. That's Cersei and Diana who share the throne of Pisces. So that death, so I can feel this. I can feel this in here that they really want that cup. They really want that new beginning in love, that new experience of some organic rather than chemical happiness. I just heard my chemical romance. Yeah. My organic romance. It just doesn't sound as appealing, does it? Laugh. We'll laugh. Labyrinth. Breathe. Ah, what is the wax in the wick that feeds the flame? For the Divine Masculine, we call him by name. All right, well, King of Wands. All right, so it's the Aries thing. So what has he got? No, it doesn't mean he's an Aries necessarily. But definitely has that get up and go. Definitely has that initiatory thing, though may be childish. No shade thrown on Aries. I mean, my past life sun. No, yeah, my past life sun came back in the Mercury retrograde before this one. My beautiful Antony. He's Antony, A-N-T-K-N-E. It's Antony. He's an Aries, and he's a genius. He's a PhD. What has he got? He's got a master's degree in chemistry. So I talked to him about Greek myth and healing, and he explains chemical components. I love him dearly, but there's something so sweet and innocent about him. So you could even say that initiatory innocence, that beginning innocence that we all have, it's still in there. It's still in everybody. If you think of your heart center as a child, as your inner child, and talk to that inner child, first it'll be like, fuck you. I love you. Yeah, says you. A lot of people have said that, right? But you nurture that child within. That is the seed of your higher self. It like holds the key to open the door to higher consciousness. It just does. Because you can't do it all through the mind. It has to be a balance of mind and heart. So there is definitely a sweetness and a willingness here, but then on the shadow side of Aries. That's why I don't date Aries men. Oh yeah, it's been a really long time since I've dated. It's been like 14 years since I've lain with an Aries. That I'm aware of. Sometimes you don't get time to ask them their signs. But can you feel that? If this is you, Divine Masculine, you've got the will, right? Or the initiatory will. It's like, well, and interesting, both starting cards. Starting in the sense that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and the Ace of Cups obviously is the first in the emotional suit of water. So let's find out, what is he thinking? Now, this mental emotional part could get a little dicey because unless you are using addictions to medicate physical pain, usually, which that could be part of it, there's a mental emotional part of it too. Okay, very, very interesting. Two of Pentacles in the thought process. Not indecision, excuse me, but mentally juggling. Perhaps really feeling such a crossroads in their life about how they're going to live their life, right? Earth, Pentacle, form. I just got all of this pressure into my head. It might have been from my coughing. There we go. Not torn in the mind, but really like really unstably sure, right? We're talking about the card of balance. It's like he's got like his tools in his hand, but which one do I want to use first? Do I use the hammer or the chisel? Right? You're supposed to use them together, I'm pretty sure. But just feeling the vibe of this here, just you could even say trying to. That's a nice way to say it. Trying to establish mental balance, which means there's a mental imbalance. And who the fuck is mentally balanced 24/7, 365, all phases and signs of the moon, right? Sorry, something just flew overhead. One of my friends must be coming to visit. Let's check the emotions here, because I have a feeling that will make some sense. What's going on in the element of water here? Well, 7 of Cups. An addiction card, if ever there was one. Like, so many options, right? The things that we dream of, the things that we want, the things that we think will make us happy, where really happiness is our natural state. Covered by what? The pain, the wounds, the stories, the whole psychology. So rather than try and find the happiness within, which I know, I'm from New York, I'm gay, I know. It's like, find the happiness within. It's like, yeah, get me a mimosa. I don't drink that much. But I understand that. We all want shortcuts, particularly now. You know, we used to have to travel thousands of miles to get information to the Alexandrian libraries, and now it's on your phone, right? Not the same information, though, and hardly the same quality. But that's 7 of Cups, right? Castles in the sky. Well, do I want that? So a little bit all over the place. So trying to balance the mind where the emotions are sort of... So there's a lot of this going on. A lot of that going on. I feel for him because, you know, I've struggled with addictions myself, but honestly, like, I did cocaine in the 80s because it was the 80s and I was in college and I read tarot and the biggest clubs in Boston, which closed at 2 a.m., so you had to, like, know where the after party was. So it's why you went. You went at, like, 1, so that by 2 a.m. you knew who you were partying with, whose house you were going back to party. Oh, yeah, go read my About Me thing on my website, jointhecircle.com. You'll scroll down. You'll see About Mark, right? You know, I write a lot, a bit about that part of my life in terms of my career, because that's really where my career started. And that's why I can have a sense of humor. Now, look, when I laugh, I'm not laughing at anybody else's addictions or anybody else's struggle or process. I'm laughing at my own because it's so in the rearview mirror for me, right? But that doesn't mean I don't have my attachments to stuff. I just cut somebody out of my life that I've loved for a very, very long time, but I realized was so toxic that I didn't even understand there was a demon, if you will, the demon narcissist, that there was a narcissistic pattern there, whether he's, you know, diagnosed with the personality disorder or not, doesn't really matter, but I just knew that for the safety of that child in my heart, I needed to cut and run, and I did. It was the best thing I ever did. I've still cried every day since, little bits here, little bits there, but that was like, okay, the hardest part of all of this, and maybe the Divine Feminine can feel this, is like, but they're so toxic, how can I love them? Because that's what a soulmate contract is. And if this person I let go is a soulmate contract, it's either done, we go our separate ways, blessed be, or they come back around. But it's only for healing now. You're coming back, we're going to heal. Right? I really, really feel for this guy. Remember, the Divine Masculine's not bad. He's possessed. Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. If someone is possessed by pain, and takes a rifle and does like a school shooting or something, did they really do it or did the pain? Now, you can argue that mentally back and forth, but Eckhart Tolle says they didn't do it. It was the pain that possessed them. So, you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't hate people. Well, when the angry child inside of me hates somebody, I'm like, it's okay, honey, you can hate them. I know, they're just total shit. But I'm coming from that place of love. That child just needs to be heard, not by everybody else on planet Earth, but by me. Sometimes I will speak what that child wants to say when there is nobody around. Sometimes it just needs to have its voice expressed that way. But otherwise, I am pro-unity. I'm 5D or bust, baby. It's like I'm embodying fifth dimensional consciousness more and more and more with every breath. So, heart open path. Love revolution. I'm part of the love revolution. Matt Kahn, all for love. Matt Kahn, all for love. Love revolution. Fuck yeah. So who needs to love more than an addict? And really, if you think about, if you see addictions as demons, in a way, I'm talking symbolism here, well, what do you do to exorcise a demon, right? You throw light at them, well, think like holy water, right? That's love, right? But the difference is that the addict has to be a part of that exorcism process, divine feminine healer. So be very, very careful, my darling, that you are not failing to take care of yourself by having healthy boundaries. Walk away if you need to. Let's get our last card down, the point of view, Spirit. Oh, please. Well, Nine of Wands, almost there, but stuck on the rocks and defensive, right? But they're not quite there. So this is Jason and the Argonauts, almost home with the Golden Fleece, but they get stuck on the rocks. They can't quite make it over that barrier, but they are close to home. And by the way, millennial-old spoiler, they make it home. They make it home. But right now, this is very much about their walls coming down. They are defensive. They are in a place of defense because they're terrified. They are absolutely terrified. Now, look, this is a very serious read, so I hope you get that, you know, for YouTube. I'm a spiritual counselor, not a drug counselor. I help people with the soul issues, and I've helped more addicts. I've helped thousands of people in my career. I started young, right? That's all. The gods send me people, the ones that I can help and heal, that I can be truly helpful. But this feels like a serious heavy duty. If this is drugs and alcohol, absolutely, unless this divine feminine is schooled, trained, you know, degreed, certified, then this is really tricky. And again, nothing necessarily sexual, romantic here. Of course, I think that addiction, I mean, unless it's sex addiction, right? And of course, you're going to know. This is a collective. You're going to know for yourself. We've got 3 more cards down, and then we'll do the overview, and I'll pop up the picture of the whole spread. Cool? Please breathe. Breathe along with me, my Saggies. The whispers of love oracle, the voices of the higher selves of all involved, please. Voices, higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity, a whisper of love for this divine feminine healer archetype in the Sagittarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Soulmate, contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one for the divine feminine here. New love. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. New love. Now, my sense is that if this is a new contract coming in, then this divine feminine really needs to know the history of what's going on here and if there is an addict in play. And I think if your solar plexus or your second chakra, your navel chakra just went, ooh, that's what it is, then you knew, you just didn't know you knew. That there's something going on here, right? Trust your gut, particularly with that Cancerian Mother of Cups in your fire position, which is Cancerians. My mom's wicked fucking intuitive. She picks up the phone, she's like, what's going on? I'm like, how come you're not doing readings? She does I Ching readings now. She went back to college. She's a teacher herself. But that, okay, right, new opportunities might pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. So again, this does not necessarily have to be, but I would think if you're a drug and alcohol counselor, you're going to get new clients, right? So this feels like it happens outside of the professional genre, but I'm just going to say to you, make sure your boundaries are clear. Like my boundaries in spiritual counseling, in case anybody, there's a link in the description box, but how to get a spiritual counseling session with me, because it's a dialogue, readings, it's all one person talking, particularly on YouTube. But my boundaries are, number one, total confidentiality. I mean, I might take the experience the person has had, change the name, change the gender, stuff like that, use it as a teaching point as a teacher, but I never reveal their true identities. Sounds so DC Comics. Number two, by law, I'm not allowed to diagnose or treat mental illness, or personality disorder. But man, can I spot them, except for those covert narcissists. They fly right under my goddamn radar, especially if if they're actors. They're all actors, aren't they? Right? So you get me, Divine Feminine? Let's look for the Divine Masculine, because this is where the divine starts to come into play with these cards. Breathe. Higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for the Divine Masculine in this Sagittarian collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract for November-ish 2019. For the Divine Masculine Addict, we have choose love. You always have a choice as to what you should do, that they have to choose, right? That they really want this Ace of Cups. I can feel that. They want this new beginning. They want to feel good. They want to feel good organically instead of chemically or chasing it or running away from it. Just the codependent, regardless of what the form of the addiction is, something has been compelling them, has power over their inner spirit. And their inner spirit really is love and wants to connect and feel good and fulfill its role. And remember, soulmate contracts, you help each other heal. Unlike twin flames, where you teach each other how to heal yourselves, right? It's totally different dynamic. So it must be very, very hard for this Divine Feminine to not walk away, or if she walks away, it keeps renewing itself with new love, which would make sense if this was a parent and child, right? I've been through hell in my life. My mom's always been there for me. She's like, I don't care what the fuck you go through, but you're going to hear it from me, right? Because she's a Hera archetype. That's not my mom, it's a statue of actually the Morrigan. Because to me, the Morrigan and Hera are sisters. I asked if I could use that. Both of them are like, of course, we're sisters. Let's chat, dear. A couple of queens sitting around hexing. John Eric hexing. So choose love. Divine Masculine, if this is you watching this, although I can't imagine you would want to, at this point, I feel like the Divine Masculines clicked off the second the Addict. If they're the Addict, they clicked off. So it's just us now, Divine Feminine healers. Oh my goodness gracious God, I hope they choose love, because we have free will. Throat chakra, choice. Alright, one more card down. I got the Whispers of Love and the Journey of Love. When I visit my parents up in Saratoga Springs, there's a wonderful little shop called The Magic Moon, run by Veronica and her daughter and their staff there, and I love them, and they love me. And sometimes when I travel there, if I'm there for a week or so, because I need to go to the mountains, go to Olympus, Saratoga, and I do readings there. So if you're ever in the area, pop in, say hi, and tell them Mark, Angelo, and Lyons, Mal for short, sends his love. They go, oh, Mark! Because I love them. So this one, Journey of Love, this, for like a lot of Oracle decks, the Tarot, the Oracle deck, well, you're in a time where you need to clear your boundaries in your energy field. Tarot, you in trouble, girl. This is not like, this is like so poetic and so beautiful and so well written. The author is Alana Fairchild. The artist is Rassouli, Rassouli, and Richard Cohn, Cohn, is the poet. So it is a three-way collaboration. So I got this last time I was up there, so I haven't memorized them all, and I don't want to, because what's written in there, I don't want to have to memorize it word for word, number one, and they say it really well. Cool. So just as we started with the Caroline Mace cards, all the pantheons together, we're going to end with the same thing, just one card. Ready? Breathe. Okay. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. One card of clarity for this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract for November 2019. Where are they on the journey of love? That was a new way to say it. I like that. I'll try and remember it. I'm sure you'll remind me. Here we go. Legacy of Light. Card number 53, Legacy of Light. Wonder if Professor Saltzman is involved. Oh, Larrick. I bet he was screaming about Damien. Right, was that his name? I don't even remember. I always wanted Alaric. Vampire Diaries, Legacies. All right, 53. See, I got to break it up with a little humor. Gotta. Because this is the realio dealio. So what I'm going to do, there are 3 parts of this. The first part is sort of like talking a little bit about the card. The second is the oracular meaning what it means in terms of an oracle. And then there's a poem. And usually the poem is the one that just bypasses all the logic in the mind. All this breathing, it's making me cough. I am cleaning out a head cold, by the way, if I didn't mention that before. That's why I should be hydrating. This is just water. Don't get triggered. I have a pure pitcher, PUR. It's just easier to fill up cobalt. Thank you. Glass bottles. I really appreciate that. And God, I hope you're not wearing earbuds. Okay. Ground, center, breathe. Legacy of light. You are called to bear light, to carry forward the legacy of a spiritual lineage of wisdom and deep service to the earth. You are a part of that spiritual lineage, a belonging that extends through generations past and generations yet to come. Just pausing there for a moment, it can mean that this is also generational stuff going on here. That just because there's toxicity or lead or a healing skill that's passed down, it's still, you incarnated into this light. Remember, we're souls that were chosen to incarnate to play these roles, right? So you must have known that coming in. Honor the importance of your task and realize that you are a light bearer, that you carry a legacy of consciousness and embodiment of light upon this earth to share for the betterment of future generations. May the ancestors of your lineage bless you with unconditional love and devotion as you carry the light forward now. Blessed be. Oh, she a witch. Talking about the ancestors and blessed be. She a witch. Code word. Sorry, I had to cross my legs like the Virgo I am. The oracle says to you that you have connected more powerfully with a source of spiritual guidance and instruction that is helping you it should be fully activate your divine life mission and purpose. Feels like the divine feminine. It is confirmation that however you are choosing to live your life, it is in service to the light, whether it be obvious so to others or not, and that your personal growth and spiritual path are helping the greater human soul evolve, the collective soul. Haven't let your light shine down? My collective soul. 90s flashback. You are acknowledged as a jewel of light upon this earth, an important link in a heavenly chain of divine awakening. This oracle also brings confirmation, if needed, that relationship issues that are arising for you now are not only about your own personal healing, but about healing the emotional legacy of your ancestral lines. Oh my God, that's both of them. I get it, that's both of them. So the addictive pattern here in the divine masculine is probably something that's inherited. I'm sure there are, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an MD, so you could post links below about the genetic components to addiction, right? Alcoholism, or whatever. But it can also be codependent, right? It can be narcissistic. It could be any sort of thing where there is that toxicity in play. That this is ancestral. To do this, you may wish to journal, dance, or meditate, or dedicate to a yoga practice the healing of your ancestral inheritance, and ask that your own relationship be assisted through the karmic grace of your ancestors to step into more consciousness of love now. Oh, it's even calling in the ancestors. Here's the poem. I measure time in years, in memories, and good friends. Thanks for helping me to see I can count the special ones on my hand, that I can count on you. Again, not necessarily, nothing here says sexual romantic at all. It does feel parental. That could be this life, past life, next life, who knows? But with this healer and this addict, this is definitely a huge soulmate contract that affects not just the two of you, but your ancestral lineages, generations to come, and all of us, all of life, the holographic reality, fifth dimensional reality of who we are, which is all one. We are one awareness manifested, right? One awareness manifested in infinite, near infinite forms. All right, let's do your overview. Say it with me. Magic clap. We've got the Divine Feminine Healer archetype, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. Keep that in mind. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Make sure you are supporting you and getting the support you need. Light attribute, passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Praise the gods, hallelujah. Hallelujah, right? What does she want? The Divine Feminine Mother of Cups, really, to feel like an emotionally nurturing, healing, Divine Feminine being here, right? To be compassionate, to be loving, but cardinal with purpose, right? Creative water. What has she got? She's got the Tower card. She could lower the boom at any moment. Some insight, some healing thing that could just really bring something down to its faulty foundation. What's in her mind? Five of Pentacles, the earthquake, is what she's thinking about in this situation. She's like, knock it down and start over, right? Not in a destructive way, right? Not with the healer archetype. And what's in her emotion? This Divine Masculine Pan card, the Emperor. So she's feeling for him, and with that Cancerian card, no matter what she's feeling, she really does want to be more of the mother of the zodiac here. And the overview, 10 of Cups, that there is something very emotionally fulfilling here. Her cups overflow because she's doing because the divine is working through her as well, right? This is what she's got, this contract for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and I mean the healer archetype contract. Then this is the fulfillment of what she came to do. Not that she's done, but that it's incredibly fulfilling and has, therefore, I would think, a lot of love, true love, divine love, unconditional love for this Divine Masculine. What's going on with him? Not that we haven't said it 10,000 times, but the Addict archetype. Shadow. Compromises integrity and honesty. Allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Light attribute. Helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. And that's why I feel like, but before I even do the 5 cards here, that this could be someone in recovery or someone who is now willing to learn how to help others here. I'm just not completely sure that's the case for the broad spectrum of the collective here, my Saggies. What does this Divine Masculine want? Ace of Cups. A new beginning, a new drink of love, right? Just maybe not a new drink of alcohol, but another dose of love, right? Another experience, a new offering of love to either give or receive. What do they have to make that happen? Is the Aries card, the King of Wands, right? The Ram, first sign of the zodiac. A certain innocence on one hand, a certain initiative, that cardinal fire. Oh, so we've got cardinal water and cardinal fire. Cardinal water, Cancer, in the Divine Feminine. Cardinal fire here in the Divine Masculine. So fire and water, we know how well that mixes. Not well without temperance, right? The Temperance card. What is he thinking about? The Two of Pentacles, feeling a little unbalanced, or thinking a little unbalanced, or thinking about getting into balance, really juggling. Should I do this? Not indecision, but because this is life-changing. Like, it feels like this this Divine Masculine realizes that the toxicity has to end, and just not sure which way to go, how to do it in terms of their physical stability, right? Their family, the things that they have, the positions that they have in life. You know, more the earthy stuff here. And what's in the emotion? 7 of Cups. It's just like there are so many options, and one of them is to just dive right back into the addiction and run the fuck away. Of course, that's always an option. It's just not the best option. See, what I do is I tell my gods every day, just take away my options. The only option I want is the divine plan. You show me what it is, I'll do my best, right? But that's a mystic for you. And it ain't easy. I don't recommend it for anybody. But with that Seven of Cups there, certainly that is a card of addictions as well. In fact, I had a book back in the 80s that had the Seven of Cups on the cover of it, and it was about the spiritual healing of addictions, and it used the Seven of Cups in the tarot as a card explaining addiction. I don't remember it. I don't have the book anymore, but I'm sure it's available out there somewhere, right online. The Nine of Wands here in the Spirit position, though, is that they are so almost home. That's why I don't feel like this person is fully ready to you know, be like a sponsor or anything like that. But they're still stuck on the rocks. They're not really all the way home. They're not even maybe ready to begin the process of recovery, of healing, of detox, of all of that stuff. And remember, not all of these divine masculines are dealing with drugs, alcohol, food, you know, the physical tangibles. This could be codependence. This could be all sorts of things that command his spirit, right? That is stronger than his honor, his integrity, his dignity, that takes him over like a demon. So it could be all sorts of things, and I'm trying to tune to that, and it's just a lot. It's very chaotic. So what do we have with the higher selves for the divine feminine? Says new love. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. Absolutely right on the money there. For the divine masculine, choose love. You always have a choice as to what you should do. So if the divine masculines are still listening at this point, yeah, it's up to you. That's your point of power. You get to choose. And it feels like you really, really do want to experience organic love, really like true, healthy, balanced happiness. And with that journey of love, the legacy of light, that there is something ancestral here, and a healing that is taking place not just for the addict, but also for the healer, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but then in the collective as well, and not just the Sagittarian collective, the collective of all humanity. So, Massages, very intense reading. You know, this is my work, though. This is what I do with people all the time. And when somebody comes to me with something like this, usually it's the person dealing with the addict. Plenty of times I have referred them to the best people that I know in the field. And I know people who do drug and alcohol counseling who are shamanic, right? Who are magical, who are pagan. So they have a different take on it. And I love them. I love them. I've actually known some of them since I was a teenager. This is very heavy. So let me give you a blessing. But before I do, please do like and subscribe. You can see I'm not your average reader. I'm not afraid to go there. It's not that I sugarcoat truth. It's just I'm wicked diplomatic about it. And that's why I try and keep it fun. Yeah, a spoonful of sugar to make the harsh medicine go down in this case. So please do like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, all that. Help me build my channel so I can do drunk tarot. I know, really bad timing on that one, but I don't drink that often. And let's end with this. Let me give you a blessing, please. Let me give you a blessing. Just breathe with me. Oh, dearest angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, may this Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract be blessed with all that it needs for the month of November and beyond, 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 that they may help each other heal, help each other grow, help each other evolve, and help each other become the best that they can be for the well-being of all and the fulfillment of the divine plan. And so it is. Seriously, from my heart to yours, my Sagittarians, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of November and into December. Hail, I love you. Reach out if you need help to me or to wherever the gods send you. Farewell, seriously, and blessed, blessed be.